All right, we're going. Welcome to week 83. Who knew that, by the way? I forgot to ask.
I was
gonna say 84. Unironically, I was gonna say 84.
You would have been close. Welcome to 83 of Album Club, week 83. This week we listened to God Save the Animals by Alex G, which was Simon's choice. Simon, please tell us what you thought about the album, or why you chose it, rather, and then what you thought about the album.
All right. I've always liked Alex G. He's got some incredible songs, but this is the first album where I feel like he's put it all together, and I've really loved it. I think the songwriting on this is so good, both lyrically and musically. I think the themes of like addiction, loneliness, fear of fatherhood, and all the religious undertones, yeah, they're pretty moving throughout this. I also think it's an interesting religious viewpoint because he isn't religious, which is a weird choice to put that theme in there. I got a good quote from him where he said, "A few people that I'm close to became religious. It made me wonder what they found. I love exploring these concepts lyrically because I don't have any answers. I can paint an abstract picture and see what happens. I'm not great at talking about this stuff in a way that I would feel comfortable having a ton of people read. I didn't know what faith meant at the beginning of this writing process, and I still don't know." I think that's pretty unique in that I don't think I've ever heard of anyone else doing that. He did a soundtrack for a little horror movie called We're All Going to the World's Fair from earlier this year. And that was one of my favorite scores from the last few years. And I felt like some of these songs were kind of a continuation of the sounds he was exploring on that. Musically, this felt like an amalgamation of a bunch of other artists and sounds that I love. Like some songs are very Sufjan-esque. Early Morning Waiting sounds just like a Slaughter Beach Dog song. Some classic Alex G on here, even some hyper pop. Yeah, probably my favorite of the year. I'm gonna go with a 9.3.
Whoo! Big score from Simon. Thank you, Simon. All very well said. Thank you you did some research too. I loved all that. Thank you, Simon.
I always do.
On to Ethan.
This album was super interesting just because of all of the different styles I was not expecting. I don't really know how many albums we have had that touch upon so many different genres in one album. But it kept me on my toes the whole way through, and it kept things really refreshing as well. Like, not that much really like sounded the same, track to track. Overall, I mean, I'm pretty high on it. There definitely are some songs that I wasn't super in love with, but kind of like I was saying before about how every song or like style is different. It's not like it took very long for things to kind of go back around in a positive direction. I think I found the first half of the album a bit stronger than the second half, but overall, it's a really solid time. I'll give it a 7.3.
7.3 from Ethan. Thank you, Ethan. On to Lauren.
Sorry. I really like this album because like it just constantly, I don't know, there's just like so many sounds. It was like, I don't know, it was really cool. I would give this album, I think like a 8.5.
All right, 8.5. Thank you, Lauren. Did you have... Wait, was that it? You had nothing more to say?
Oh, this sounded like Sky Hill, but like this is what Sky Hill wished that they could do, but couldn't quite achieve.
All right, thank you,
Alex
Lauren.
G would be so hurt.
No, but it was so good. No, I think that's like I really liked it. I just thought it was funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Lauren.
No, it's fine. I see how it is. It's cool. Just do it. Cut me off. Do it again.
Okay, so
Okay.
Lauren's idea... Lauren's idea about Sky Hill, I actually super agree with, because it's like... you know what? I'll talk about it later. I'm jumping the gun. Anyway, thank you, Lauren. On to Justin.
cut out there, but I assume he was saying it.
Justin, on to you.
Just onto Just. I kind of like after hearing the Skyhook comparison, I kind of see where she's coming from. Not gonna lie, with the vibe of it. What do I have to say? There's definitely a lot of variety in this album, which I don't know how I feel about it overall. This album is really complicated for me to think about. Because there's parts that I really like, there's parts that I find irritating. Um, Overall, it keeps a theme and sonically sounds cohesive while still like having this great variety within it, which is impressive to try and do. I like the more upbeat parts. I think there were some hyper boppy parts that hyper pop. I guess hyper bop.
Yeah, hey,
Um,
Bob.
Yeah. Parts that I did enjoy. Uh, Lyrically, I did enjoy some of the themes, but also sometimes I was wishing for more out of songs because it was too repetitive. But that's kind of a small qualm. I don't dock songs for doing that. It just I wish it would like I don't know, a little bit more, maybe a couple of more verses. I like a lot of the accent instruments they used because I remembered in one song they were using that like frog percussion instrument thing.
Like the gyro.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's like the
That
first
shit
time I've heard
goes
that
hard.
on an album. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
That does go hard. I have that in my notes.
Which track was that? Is that?
I think
STOS.
FDOS.
Yeah, it is SDOS.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very conflicted on how I feel about this album. And because of that, I give it just a flat 5 because I honestly
Whoa!
don't know if I like it or not.
That's a good review.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you, Justin. On to Reaping.
First of all, I want to say that in the beginning of the album, I heard the first song, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be like a religious album or something. I'm not gonna like it," because I'm really touchy with like albums like that. I don't usually enjoy them, but then after I hear every track and stuff, I do understand like the subjects that the singer wants to bring and stuff, and that's when I understood. Okay, this is not just like the religious aspects of stuff, because later on you see that there's not much of like a religious belief shown on the album, so I was like, okay, this makes sense now. I would say I do like the bass of rock he had mostly on the album, with the touch of like of you guys said like hyperpop and other genres and stuff. I do like that. Lyrics wise, I think they're more like simple yet impactful in a way. Because the thing is that you see the lyrics and stuff and you read them, I'm like, oh, it's kind of simple, nothing crazy. But then when you know about Alex G and stuff, you will understand, why it has like that meaning and stuff if you do the research and stuff, of course. And yeah, I don't know why though. This music made me feel like I was like, it's a good album to have in like camping, some sort. I don't know. It just gave me the
I
vibes.
could see that.
But
Yeah, I could totally
Yeah.
camp to this.
yeah, I don't know. It gave me that vibe, but yeah,
That's probably because
But-
folk, you know.
yeah, it is. It does have a little bit of folk, so yeah. I enjoyed it, most of it. Like, I didn't hate it or anything. I almost, kind of call it quits and like, I was gonna hit it if it was all religious stuff, because I don't know. As I said, I'm too like, touchy with that. But other than that, I enjoyed it mostly. I'll give it like a 7.2.
7.2. Thank you, Reaping. On to Ryder.
I think I've only heard a few songs by Alex G prior to this, but I knew that I liked most of what they'd done. And I was really excited to listen to this just because, I mean, Simon's recommendation means a lot to me. So I was very excited to go into this, and I really loved just like how much variety there was in it. I thought it was just an extremely fun listen, and I think that listen to this while camping is a good call, but I think also just like due to the nature of the album, I think it can be listened to in so many different ways, which I think is really interesting. So I definitely will have to like figure that out for myself. Like I listened to it once through playing Melee, once through just like for realsies, and once through while reading, and it felt fitting for all of those, which I find extremely exciting in an album. So I'm gonna have to figure out other avenues in which I enjoy this album, I suppose. But I thought that most of the songs were very nice. Only one of them made me just like a little anxious, I would say. But I think for the most part, they were just like extremely fun to listen to and just like a very nice time overall. I think I would probably give this like an 8.1. I thought it was great.
All right, thank you, Ryder. On to me. I'm sad about a couple things, and the things that I'm sad about is that I'm going last because a lot of things already got said that I wanted to say, which is a bummer. But the other thing is that I wish I wrote stuff down for this. I listen to this album much more than I usually listen to album club albums, partly because I really enjoyed it, and I just thought there was a lot to unpack, and I felt it like I just really wanted to do it. So I wish I wrote things down because I just have so many thoughts on this. For starters, what people have already mentioned in terms of just like genre variety, and also Justin specifically mentioned cohesiveness and like how it like made sense with all that variety, which is really cool. And I think in a way it like created a completely unique sound that I don't think I've ever experienced, where it was almost hard to pull like genre qualities because of how well they all went together. And I was like, this is just like genreless. Like this is just its own thing, which I thought was so cool. What else? I have so much to say. I can't think of it all. Everything's good except for one song. I think every song is like good, if not like incredible. There's some really truly excellent songs on here too. Picking a favorite song is going to be hard later. Things that I did not like, there were moments, very far and few in between, but a good example for me of a moment of something that I felt was out of place, especially on the first listen. I grew to understand its place and just like live with it. But the like grunts and blessings, I was like, it feels like you're trying.
I really love those. Those crack me up.
And nothing felt like they were trying until the grunts. And I was like, okay, now you're trying. Now you're like, I can feel the like, let's be weird, you know?
Those grunts caught me so off guard. Yeah. They really did.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay. I kind of had like an okay buddy moment where I was like, everything else has been sick. The hyperpop switch up in No Bitterness, fucking sick. It took me by a huge surprise, but it was sick, and I was like, that was perfect. It felt so natural. It just flowed right into it. But those felt unnatural to me, and then I'm gonna spoil my least favorite track because it is really important to the score I give the album.
No spoilers.
I'm doing it. Fucking Cross the Sea is atrocious. I fucking hate that song. I hate everything about it. His super droning, bored, dull vocals. Yeah. It reminded me of like a shitty trap song that's like what's the word like I'm looking for? Like I forget the term for it. It's a genre term that's just like bored, like high on Xanax trap music. And I just thought it was droning and dull, and I hated it. So if it weren't for that song, this album might be like a 9, but this album's an 8 for me. All right. Let's move on to favorite tracks, starting with Simon.
My favorite part of the album is the end of Blessing. The end of Blessing is just so good. It just sounds straight out of like a Dario Argento movie. I'm not sure who that reference is for here, but
That's
what it reminds me of.
They are popping off. They're also a Dario Argento fan.
I really love Runner. That one gets stuck in my head all the time. I love SDOS. No Bitterness. Miracles, I think, is the best lyrics on the album. I like Forgive a lot. I think I'm just gonna go with Runner. It's the basic pick for a reason.
Yeah, that's a good take. I forgot to
Also,
mention.
wait, does anybody have an interpretation of that song? I'm just curious.
No.
The two interpretations are about like that it's about his drug dealer or his dog.
Oh.
I'm just curious if anyone.
I love the
is picking up
polar
on either of those.
opposites. It's either his drug dealer or his dog. That's so funny. I mean, either way, that's his dog, you know.
True.
Thank you, Simon. I totally forgot a point that I did want to make. I think it's so impressive to like do this type of like crazy out there genre blending and to make such catchy music. It is catchy. Like all these songs get stuck in my head on the regular. So I thought that was
Definitely.
wicked impressive. Anyway, on to Ethan.
My favorite is definitely No Bitterness.
Good take. Thank you, Ethan. On to Lauren.
Sorry, mine is also No Bitterness. I thought it
Good
was really cool.
take. Thank you, Lauren. On to Justin.
Easy, No Bitterness.
Good take. Thank you, Justin. On to Reaping.
No Bitterness.
Good.
After the
Take.
grunts, I was like, this is good.
Wait, that's Blessing.
Is it Blessing?
Blessing's the
I
one
thought
with
it was
grunts.
Oh, well, never mind.
Fuck. Is your favorite Blessing then?
I gotta hear them both again.
It's valid.
But yeah, at the moment I'm gonna say, oh, this is tough now because I gotta hear them again.
Reaping doesn't want to
Okay,
break
you-
the chain.
Go next, and I'll tell you in the end.
Alright. GG, go next.
Yeah.
On to Ryder.
Across the Sea.
Are you memeing? Sorry. You're
No,
entitled.
I like
you're-
the song.
No, I know you're entitled to.
I
your
like the
opinion.
song.
Okay.
I despise that song. It like actually ruins the album for me. When it comes on, I'm like, oh fuck this one, and then I have to stop what I'm doing to skip it.
Yeah, but
Okay,
he's
I got mine.
crossing the sea like Moses.
I don't care about the lyrics. That's not my thing. Sonically atrocious. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here for Kid Cudi, Alex G.
I hate it. It's not Cudi because Cudi has like the hums and the hums hit. The hums are like
I think it
fucking
definitely is Cudi-esque.
ethereal.
I mean, did I ever send you that video of has anyone else seen that like TikTok or whatever of like when you're trying to get a win in Fall Guys and your boys are just like harmonizing day and night? Have I sent y'all that?
No.
No,
I'll send it to you. It's my
that's
favorite
hilarious.
video.
I
It's
do
my
wanna
favorite
see
video on the
that.
internet.
Your boys are harmonizing. Anyway, thank you, Ryder. Reaping, would you like your second shot here?
Yes, I do. It's No Bitterness. The second part slaps.
Let's go, Team No Bitterness. I think my favorite's got to be Runner.
Are you kidding me?
Great pick.
It actually is just like if I had to, if you like gun to my head made me choose one, I would pick No Bitterness because of the fact it's a little more out there. But like they're
Runner's
basically
so catchy.
they're basically dead tied. Like I love those songs. They're both
Dude,
like
the
easy
scream
tens.
and Runner just hits so good.
Okay, yeah, actually, just Runner. I forgot about the scream. The scream hits so good, dude. I mean, yeah, this album's just so good. You can't really go wrong, except for Cross the Sea, in my opinion. But now let's move on to least favorite tracks. Simon.
It's really tough. I think it has to be Early Morning Waiting. It just sounds like a mediocre Slaughter Beach Dog song. I could just go listen to them.
All right, fair enough. On to Ethan.
I think I'm gonna go with. I don't know. There was one I had. I might go with SDOS.
Fair enough. Thank you, Ethan. On to Lauren.
I'm so scared. I didn't like Runner. Yeah.
Blasphemous.
That's blasphemy. But you're entitled to your own blasphemy.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. On to Justin.
I'm gonna say After All, for an interesting reason. The vocals sound exactly like the vocals of a different artist I listen to, except this is like a sadder, slower version of that person. So I'm just
Who
like,
is the
yeah, this is
artist?
a bad this person's song. Swarty.
Not familiar.
Yeah, kind of low key, not too popular.
All right. Well, thank you, Justin. On to Reaping.
I'm gonna say After All, because as I explained, it gave me the religious vibes to the album like that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna vibe with this, but yeah.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. Thank you, Reaping. On to Ryder.
I hope you know you just messed up my down tilt forwarder. I'm gonna go with Headroom Piano.
Valid. Valid. Thank you, Ryder. I'm gonna go with Cross the Sea. That song is atrocious. I fucking hate it. If it didn't exist, this album would be a 9, as I have mentioned for me. But docks it a whole ass point. Because there's some 10s on this album, but there's also a 2, and it's that song. So, pretty crazy. Well, that's it for this one. Great pick, Simon. Pretty widely well received, and definitely interesting at the least. Justin with the lowest score also had a time listening to it, so good choice.
No Bitterness is good. It's just that some of the other stuff I just didn't really like.
And that is valid.
One of the reasons I chose this is I figured there was something for everyone.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Also, the end of SDOS has the best lyric on the album.
What is it?
God is my designer, Jesus is my lawyer.
Oh yeah, that gets stuck in my head a lot. Just that specific line.
I wish that song was longer. I agree with Justin in that I could use a verse on that song. Give me a little more.
I don't remember ever thinking that, so I'm inclined to think that I disagree.
It's just one really short verse, and that's kind of it.
Okay, who still needs to go? Me, Ryder, Justin, Reaping. That's it, right? That's 4. Okay, I'm spinning the wheel. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Any closing remarks from anybody?
I like the birds on the album.
Yeah, the artwork is good.
I was listening to this,
Noted
and
artwork.
I was listening to this, and at some point, I thought, this is kind of giving 100 Gex. And then I thought, I'm not allowed to say that in the meeting. I will get crucified.
No, you're right.
No, it is 100%.
You definitely,
There's
like,
just
someone
straight
mentioned...
hyperpop on this.
Yeah, someone mentioned hyperpop, and I was like, oh, I'm not, like, insane. This is great.
No, the back half of No Bitterness is hyperpop.
that explains why all of you...
I was talking to Lauren. So for those watching at home, Lauren's the newest member of the group, and I was talking to Lauren about Secret Santa because she was like, "Can I tell you who I got so you can help me?" And I was like, "No." But what I can do is I can tell you vaguely what everyone's taste is. So I'm going through everyone's taste. I'm like, yeah, Reaping really likes pussy pop and hyper pop.
What is
Ethan
that?
likes
What is that genre?
Pussy poppin'.
pussy popping.
Things that you throw your pussy to.
Yeah.
Is
What do you mean?
pussy pop a thing?
No.
What do I mean?
Pussy poppin' is the descriptive word. Those are just adjectives.
Oh, I thought you said pussy pop and hyper
No,
pop. And I was
pussy
like, why is that a
poppin'.
genre?
Like it's hyper pop that you would pop your pussy to.
Can we make it a thing?
Pussy pop.
Oh yeah, I love this album. It has so much pussy pop elements to it.
Pussy pop.
There are hints of pussy pop in like you're describing a
I
line.
thought it was crazy when Alex G like switched that one song from folk to pussy pop. Yeah, the pussy pop switch up really threw me, but I was here for it. But yeah, I was just describing everyone's taste, and I was like, yeah, Justin likes like heavy EDM and like hyper pop that's like EDM, and then Ethan likes hyper pop that's like like robot girl talking to you, like Hannah Diamond, and then Simon likes so much stuff he's confusing, and then Ryder
totally forgot.
doesn't
You
like
skipped over-
hyperpop.
You skipped
What do you
over
mean I do?
Ethan.
I like some of it.
You-
I like the underscores or whatever.
You did like underscores.
And then there's like some other stuff. I said there was some 100 gig stuff that I liked.
In
I
a-
just like stuff that's like nice and like calm and like a lesbian singing it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said your taste was.
Yeah, it was basically that.
Yeah, Julian Baker, etc.
Oh, Julian Baker's so lovely. I've been listening to so much Julian Baker recently, which is probably not good. It like probably doesn't bode well for my mental health, but like here we are.
That's really funny. I'm gonna spin the wheel now. Anyone else? Any closing remarks on this before I spin this wheel? Let's spin this wheel, shall we?
I realized I like albums that are religious, and I'm not religious at all. Like, I love
Yeah.
Julian Baker, Sufjan. I love this.
Yeah. Well, it's because the idea of religion's interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like they all explore it in interesting ways.
Right.
That's not just
Oh,
preaching.
another musical artist that you like that is not religious that explores religion, Will Toledo.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
Mm-hmm. That immediately came to my mind when I was like, Alex G does not seem religious, but this album has a lot of religious themes. So I was I was like, oh, like Will Toledo, Cosmic Hero type shit. I'm gonna spin the wheel. If it lands on me, I'm so conflicted. All right, it's skipping over me. All right, cool. I have time to think. It's Justin. Everybody, it's Justin! Everybody give it up for Justin.
Oh, this is so
Clap, clap,
tough.
clap, 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 clap.
Justin has an album for us. What's that album, Justin? What you got there?
What Do You Want by A Cloudy Sky.
What Do You Want by A Cloudy Sky. All right. Can you link it in the chat so I can read it while I do this outro? That's the general, you goofball. This guy, he's a goof. For anyone that likes Skid music, can you put it in album club?
There.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Cool. I was gonna say I want to pin it. All right. Well, album club viewers, let us know what you thought about this album, God Save the Animals by Alex G. And also be sure to listen to next week's album so you can follow along with our discussion. Haha. That album is What Do You Want by A Cloudy Sky. Everybody say, see you next week. Bye.
Next
Bye.
week. Bye.
Bye.
Good job, briefing.